So I just saw Nutcrackers. It's the holiday season. Maybe you're looking for some holiday movies to check out. My favorite podcast, We'll See You in Hell, now defunct. They completely shit on this movie last year. So I had no real interest in it, but it's streaming on Hulu in the States right now. So I decided to check it out. And I was surprised by it. Your mileage is really going to vary. So, the movie surprised me. What is Nutcrackers about? Nutcrackers is directed by David Gordon Green, who kind of a weird career trajectory with him because he has worked a lot with Danny McBride, and he started with indie films, which I haven't seen most of those, but he did Pineapple Express, Your Highness, The Sitter, and then he got into the Halloween franchise. Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and then Halloween Ends. And then Exorcist Believer, which I believe got terrible reviews. And now Nutcrackers, weird trajectory. It stars Ben Stiller, and the premise is about Ben Stiller is this workaholic, career-minded, he's always on the phone type deal, like da 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 da. And then his sister and his sister's husband dies, leaving 4 young boys orphaned. So he has to fly in from Chicago to their farm, and he has to figure out what to do with these 4 boys, his 4 nephews, who he's kind of estranged from. So when he sees them for the first time, he's like, oh, I remember Justice and You Must Be Junior, and I haven't met you two, that type of thing. And the movie starts out, Ben Stiller is doing his normal shtick, the stuttering, typical old Ben Stiller shtick. And at the beginning of the movie, I was not feeling it. I was kind of like, I've seen him do this many times before. Kind of immediately, you kind of know where the story is going to go. I mean, it's predictable in that sense. And Ben Stiller hasn't acted in a very long time. I think it says it's his first time starring in a movie in 6 years, something like that. So he's past his prime, nothing wrong with that. And this is considered a comedy drama. So at first, the 4 nephews, they're obnoxious and they're like delinquents. They're just running around causing chaos everywhere they go. The movie opens with them hot wiring a carnival ride. How do the kids know how to do that? I don't know. And so they get in trouble. They're running back and forth and just causing a ruckus wherever they go. And they don't like Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller doesn't like them. And then who also enters the frame is Linda Cardellini, who I've loved in a million things before. She plays like a social worker who's there trying to find a foster home for these 4 boys. And when she meets Ben Stiller, he's like, well, I just need to sign some forms and then I need to go back to Chicago. And she's basically like, well, no one really wants them. We can't find a proper foster family for them. So you have to stay until we find, otherwise they're 4 young boys on their own. So he's kind of forced to stick around and look after them. The beginning of the movie, the comedy wasn't working for me. It was just kind of bottom of the barrel, not great stuff. The comedy was not landing for me. And they were trying, but I was not laughing. In the middle of the movie, Toby Huss comes in. It's a very strange subplot because they go to the grocery store, Ben Stiller and the 4 boys, and Toby Huss character comes out of a Corvette. The 4 boys know who he is. He's like, oh, maybe that guy will adopt us because he's rich and he owns half the town. And then Ben Stiller comes up with this scheme trying to get him to adopt the 4 boys. It's a very stupid subplot. Ben Stiller starts talking to Toby Huss in the store, and he's like, oh, I knew your sister. Like, she was a great woman, blah, blah, blah. So Toby Huss invites Ben Stiller and the boys over to his mansion for a Christmas party. So at the Christmas party, they start talking, the 2 men. Ben Stiller's really trying to push, maybe you'd like to foster these 4 boys. Toby Huss is like, we might be interested in that. We're empty nesters. Very stupid. That part was very stupid. Then, believe it or not, folks, the 4 boys get into some more trouble, and the scene ends with Toby Huss saying, oh, it seems like you can take care of the 4 boys on your own. Get out of here. So they leave. So Ben Stiller and Linda Cardellini are just trying to find a foster home for the four boys. Ben Stiller keeps getting interrupted with these work phone calls. He has to get back to Chicago because he's a senior real estate manager, blah, blah, blah. Ben Stiller comes up with this plan to put on a ballet show because one of the boys, Junior, had written his own version of the Nutcracker. So the plan is they're going to put on this big Nutcracker show. People are going to come and pay to watch the show, and then they're going to fall in love with the boys, and then hopefully someone will want to foster all four of the boys. And then towards the end of the movie, as you can guess, Ben Stiller's like, yeah, everyone's going to come and want to take these boys home. Linda Cardellini is like disappointed. She's like, oh, I thought things had changed over these past couple of weeks. And then the big drop happens where Ben Stiller's like, you don't know my life. I am not capable of taking in these four pain in the ass kids. One of the boys overhears it. He runs off, and Ben Stiller cancels the big show, but the four boys decide to put it on in the street, and it's a big hit. That's basically it. This movie surprised me in the emotional aspect. We'll See You in Hell, like I said, they completely shit on this movie, but I ended up kind of liking it. As predictable the movie is, and as extremely dumb as that subplot was, this movie hit an emotional beat that got to me. Written by Leland Douglas, I'm not familiar with. There was a 30-second scene between Ben Stiller and one of his nephews, which sold the movie for me. Like, I love this moment, and it's a small moment, but I loved it. It's just a conversation between Ben Stiller and his nephew, and I forget the exact dialogue, but the little boy is like, the shooting stars are like my parents. They started off as stars and then came down, and then when they die, they go up in the sky and they become stars again. Something like that. Ben Stiller's like, how do you know this? And then the boy is like, I made it up. And that scene got to me. It really did. The emotional beats in this movie got to me. And I was surprised because I was ready to hate on it and shit on it. Apparently, the four boys are brothers in real life, and that's their real farm home that they use in the movie. The mother of the four boys was a film school classmate of David Gordon Green's, and scenes were filmed at their family farm in Ohio with all the animals, except for the snake in the toilet, were actually theirs. All four are also trained ballet dancers, which is featured heavily in the plot, obviously, at the end of the movie. You know, it got middling reviews, middling to negative reviews. I don't think this movie made a big splash. I watched it alone, of course, always alone. I think young kids would enjoy this. I think families would enjoy this. In the end, I found it oddly touching, surprisingly emotional. I think you could do worse with your time than watching this movie. So check it out, Nutcrackers on Hulu, and let me know what you think. It's not terribly funny, but it was pretty emotional, and I give that to them. Anyway, that's all I got. What was the last movie you saw? Thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, and say hi to your pets for me. Maybe you're looking for some holiday watchings